Welcome to Lesson 3, Exploring Rectangles with Equal Perimeters. In this unit, we will be working with rectangles and measuring their perimeters. Perimeter is the distance around the outside of a shape. To get the perimeter of a rectangle, you add all the lengths of all four sides. So here's one side, second side, third side, and the fourth side. When we're using graph paper like this, we can say that each side of a square on the graph paper is 1 centimeter long. And so to get the length of this long side, we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So both of the long sides have a length of 12 centimeters. The short sides have a length of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 centimeters. So now we have our four sides that measure 12 by 6 by 12 by 6. So to get the perimeter, we add up all four sides. So pause the video, see if you can figure out the perimeter of this rectangle, and then continue to see if you're correct. So 12 plus 12 plus 6 plus 6 equals to 36. So as a final answer, we write P for perimeter equals 36 centimeters. In addition to the perimeter, we can also measure the area of a rectangle. And the area is the amount of space that the shape takes up. So to get the area of a rectangle, we simply multiply the length by the width. In other words, A equals L times W. That is our formula to calculate the area. So in this example, the area would be 12 times 6, which is equal to 72. So as a final answer, we write A equals 72 centimeters squared, which means that there are 72 square centimeters inside this rectangle. And if you want to go ahead and count them, each one of these little squares is a square centimeter, you would see that there are 72 of them. Let's talk some more about perimeters, since that is the focus of our lesson. So remember, to get the perimeter, we added up all four sides of the rectangle, and we got the distance around the rectangle, which happens to be the perimeter. So do you think there are other rectangles that we can make that also have a perimeter of 36, but are different sizes or shapes than the one that we're looking at here? If you answered yes, you are correct. We can make other perimeters of 36. That's to say, we can make other rectangles with a perimeter of 36. So we see that we have two opposite sides that are 12 centimeters and two opposite sides that are 6 centimeters. That's going to be true for all rectangles. Opposite sides are going to be the same. So if we were to look at half of the rectangle, where we have one length and one width, we see that 12 plus 6 equals 18. And 18 is obviously half of 36. So are there any other addition questions where we can have two numbers that add up to 18? Because here we had 12 plus 6 equal 18. Can we think of two other numbers? Let's say, for example, 10 plus 8. That equals 18. Or how about 9 plus 9? That equals 18. Could we also try, for example, let's say 14 plus 4? That equals 18 as well, doesn't it? Now there are other additions that we can make to make 18, but let's look at these ones here. And let's see if we can turn them into rectangles. So why don't you pause the video and see if you could draw rectangles that have a length and width of 10 and 8, 9 and 9, and 14 and 4, and then come back when you're ready to continue. So here are the three rectangles that we created, and you'll notice that when you add up all four sides in each rectangle, that they add up to 36. So we have three different rectangles which all have the same perimeter. You might look at this one over here and say, wait a second, that's a square. All four sides are equal, and you are correct. But a square is also a rectangle. It's just a special kind of rectangle. So now let's think about areas. Remember, area is length times width. Do you think that the area of each of these rectangles will be the same? Well, pause the video and let's find out if they are or not. So the areas turn out not to be the same in each one of these rectangles. Here we have an area of 80, here we have an area of 81, here we have an area of 56 centimeters squared. These two rectangles have very similar areas, but they are not exactly the same. But this one is quite a bit different than the other two. So when we make rectangles with the same perimeters, the areas will not be the same. So in this lesson we learned how to get the perimeter and the area of rectangles. To get the perimeter you add length plus width, which basically means add up all four sides of the rectangle. To get the area we simply multiply length times width. Those are just two formulas that you'll need to remember for perimeter and area. We notice that we can make a number of different rectangles. And these are not the only three rectangles we can make with a perimeter of 36, but we can make a few more as well. So we can make different rectangles that have the same perimeter, but we notice that they all have a different area. And one thing that's kind of important to notice is that the rectangle that's a square or closest to a square will always have the largest area, and the long and skinny rectangles will always have the smallest area. So have fun exploring rectangles with equal perimeters. Watch the video again and ask your teacher for help if you need it.